Hey, you guys, welcome back to the show. You are listening to the Sweet Life Entrepreneur Podcast, as our intro said, and I'm super glad that you're here. I'm April Beach, show host, and I can't wait to dive into today's topic with you. This is what you can expect from today's show. At the end of this episode, you are going to know exactly my process that I have used now for 12 years to lay out my entire calendar year for my online business that has freed me up to, in this past year, have 6 months of travel time with my family and with my kids. You know, we always hear that there's this pie in the sky or like design your life through entrepreneurship and these kind of foo-foo unicorn things out there we see on marketing all the time. But here in this show, and what I do is I give you the exact strategy to actually make it happen. And there is some strategy. There are some building blocks that we're going to talk about in the show that if you do not have them in place, you're not going to be able to do this. And so I'm going to break down the processes in which we go through every single year. And actually, I just took a group of clients to Florida for a week to lay out their whole entire business for the year to come. And I'm going to unpack this process here for you on this show today. At the end of this episode, you are going to know this process and you're going to know everything you have to have in place to be able to complete this process. And I'm going to share with you a little bit more of my strategy, some personal behind the scene things, and what we do here on the Sweet Life Entrepreneur Podcast as well in the process of laying out our year. So all of the show notes can be found by going to sweetlifeco.com. This is episode number 267. So first of all, I want to give you a bonus with this episode. I have created the ultimate guide to online offers. Now, let me explain why this is not just some freebie you download. So I have successfully had multiple different online offers, everything from MRRs to retreats to courses and all these different type of offers that you can do. And I'm sure you guys are often told, from other people, launch a course or launch a membership. So many people love to insert their opinion in what they think we should do. Have you experienced that also? But the reality is each one of those business offers is going to affect your life. So in order to be successful in what we're talking about here on the show, you need to know how offering certain programs in your business is going to affect your time and your work cadence and your family and even your profit. So to really apply what we're going to talk about on this show, go grab the ultimate guide to online offers, and you can get that by going to sweetlifeco.com, clicking on the podcast, and you can just search. This is episode number 267, or you can very simply text the word guide to the number 805-254-0880, and you can download it from there. Okay, so this show is for those of you guys that truly want to make sure that the business you're building is going to give you the time and life freedom that you've been looking for. Many of you may have very profitable businesses, may have programs that you have been running, a variety of offers in your suite, but your world is not functioning the way that you want it to. Maybe you feel a little bit trapped. So that's why you're here listening to the show. I'm going to break down this step-by-step process that we use to lay out our entire calendar year with you. You ready? Okay, here we go. So the first thing is that if you have an old school calendar in front of you, I'm 46. I'm a big advocate of old school things. If you have an old school calendar in front of you, bust it out, get it someplace down on a piece of paper, because I'm actually going to take you through this step-by-step process, and having an old school calendar is really, really helpful. Even with Post-it notes, where we can actually go and move along our Post-it notes based on what dates that you're looking at. So step number one, the very first thing that I do when I lay out my entire calendar, I do this towards the end of one year for the upcoming next year, but I don't care when you're listening to this show, you can do this whenever you want, is I block my time off. It's the very first thing that I do. I block off my travel and my adventures and my time with my kids and my project time. So step number one is to look at your calendar, look at your personal lifestyle calendar, and I want you to block off and fiercely protect your travel time. This is very, very important. If you do not do it first, you're never going to get it later. Okay, so if you're not really sure what that time is, I want you to go through and I want you to block off, hey, I think I want to take a trip sometime in August. Great. We're going to block that off. Now, here's the thing about this, guys. These things are non-negotiable. These are non-negotiable times off. This is how I approach this. My life always comes first. I learned how to design businesses from my parents. If you've ever heard my story, we have a very long history of a family of lifestyle entrepreneurs. What does that mean? It means we design our business around our lifestyle. These are not hopeful things. We're not going to hope that you're taking time off. You are going to take this time off. My time off, when I block it out, is absolutely end all be all, non-negotiable. And for me, like this past summer, I was back east with my youngest son at lacrosse recruiting. Years before that, I lived in Los Angeles with my middle son, who is a professional hip hop dancer. Years before that, I traveled with my oldest son in lacrosse recruiting. So these are actually hard dates. So they actually help me out because I can actually look at the calendar and say, hey, listen, okay, we're going to be at these tournaments, these dates. And so it does help if you actually have solid dates. Regardless, step number one is you need to approach this in a way that is non-negotiable. Mark off your time, that girls trip you wanted to take, whatever that is, that gets blocked off on your calendar for the entire year first. And it's like we're going to put those big rocks in your jar first. I know you guys have heard this, analogy of filling up a jar with your year. The biggest rocks go first. Those big rocks are not how we're making money. They're not our marketing. They're your life. Okay, step number one. Step number two, what you're going to do then is you are going to block off your business project time. Remember that book that you know that you really have been wanting to work on? Maybe it's a second or a third book you're getting out there. Maybe you want to go on a speaking tour. I actually just got off a call with a client, and she and her whole entire family are going on a month-long speaking tour back east to promote her program. It's so exciting, right? We have to plan for that. We have to know that's coming. So whatever project time as far as work goes that you need to block that off, that is the second thing you block off your calendar. And here is what is going to happen, okay? After you've blocked off your family time, especially if you're like me, and then you've blocked off your project time, there isn't a lot of landscape. Like the geography is taken up. So we're looking at a calendar that doesn't quite have a lot of space left to actually work. Praise the Lord. Okay, so what we do next is now we're going to take an inventory of your offers. If you know me, I'm an offer engineer. I help businesses build industry-leading programs and offers at scale. So the next thing, and how it ties into that episode bonus that I told you about of the guide of online offers, is we need to take an inventory of your online offers. And you should know, number one, what is the most profitable offer that you have? Number one, what is your most profitable offer? Number two, what is the offer that's most aligned with your life? Basically, which one do you really want to do? Which one do you really want to put your time into? Which one are you really fired up about? What people do you really want to work with? What is the one that you would do it for free? You love it so much, even though don't worry, we are not doing that here. That is what I want you to do. So we need to inventory your offers, and you need to determine which ones you are going to sell for the year or the months to come, however long you're planning this. Okay? Based on number one, which one is going to make enough money for you to then take that other time off? And number two, which ones do you actually love to do? Now, we're not getting into this in this episode, but this is all the answers to these questions align around how you're engineering your offers and the model and the delivery of it. And then the third thing you're going to do is you are literally going to plot out on your calendar your sales and promotion dates for your most profitable offer first. Okay, that's rule number one. Many of you guys have a variety of offers, but we're going to plot out the most profitable one first. Numero uno. Okay? And you're going to plot it on your calendar. Even if you sell it all year long, we still need to treat that offer as if we were having kind of a launch campaign around it. So even things that are available all the time, anybody can join into them, we still need to plot on your calendar when the promotional times around that particular offer are going to be. So you're going to now block off the calendar those promotional times. Now, if you're like me, we don't really have any promo times in June and July. Like I said, I'm back east on a lacrosse field right now. So because of that, we have to make sure that we plot out our promotional times for people to come work with us other months out of the year. So what does that look like for you? Block off those promotional periods for your primary offer first. The next step is to block off your promotional periods for your secondary offers. So what other offers or programs, maybe you have like mini master classes, maybe you have a retreat that you may do once a year or a couple times in a year that fill in around that primary offer, that primary program that you are selling. And then the next step is you are going to block out the sales campaigns times around each. So I know we're sitting here, if you're watching this on YouTube or if you're watching the video version of it, awesome. I'm very handy. I use a lot of my hands in the air. But what I'm saying to you here is step number 1, let's recap. You're going to block off your personal travel time. Step number 2, your business project time. Step number 3, your primary offer. Step number 4, your secondary offers. And then you're going to fill up the sales and marketing campaign times around them. What do I mean by that? I mean, are you having a 3-week launch campaign? Do we need to have webinars? Do we need to build other things around that are going to require your time? And this is an overview of my yearly planning system. I promise you, when you go in this order and when you answer these questions for yourself, again, personal time off, business project time, primary offer, secondary offers, and then the sales campaigns around them, honestly, number 1, you're probably not going to have that much time to sell. We always talk about the fact that we probably don't make enough offers. Just hear me out. We talk often that if a business is having trouble selling something, it's probably because they aren't offering their services enough. They aren't making enough offers. And we see that extreme, that we aren't making enough offers. But then the other side of that is that there are some people selling stuff all the time. Nobody wants to buy your shit all the time. Mine either, okay? Nobody wants that, right? So when we lay out in the calendar of when we have these promotional times where somebody can pay you all the money for the amazing service that you deliver, the other times, what it does, usually when you're traveling, is that gives us that time to build relationships with your audience. And so when we look at this calendar, we're actually going to see that there's probably a lot of consolidated sales times and a lot of consolidated relationship building times. And that is amazing. If you're looking at your calendar and you're thinking, I don't have enough time to sell things, I'm traveling all the time and whatever that is, no problem. Download that online guide to the ultimate guide to online offers, and you can create your own custom programming of offers, what I call your own offer ecosystem, to actually fill that up. You don't have to have one primary offer that you sell all the time and then a secondary and a third offer. You can engineer your ecosystem of offers according to what you need for your business and your life, as long as, here's the rule, as long as that offer is guaranteed to be engineered to deliver your clients predictable, transformational, measurable results. If you're not sure about that, then we need to talk about that as well. So let me recap the steps here. Number 1, in order to lay out your entire year, your entire online business calendar for Lifestyle First, to actually get that, we have to block off the times that you're taking personally and professionally off. Then what it's going to do is going to give us a very sobering look at the months we are selling and the benchmarks we need to hit financially for you, and make sure that you have the right offers that are built and being delivered at the other times throughout the year to actually make sure that the whole entire year is covered financially. That's what we need to do, and that is this process. And then we drill down even deeper into your content marketing calendar, and we plot out all of your marketing campaigns, all of your content marketing communications around, guess what? Your life and your business and your profit and your offers first. And I promise you, when you do it in this order, like me, you will get actually more and more time off. Now, here's the real truth. The first time I did this, it was really messy. It was back in 2012 and my kids were younger, and actually I was planning time off in my offers because my kids, when they were young, had a lot of medical needs. It wasn't like I was taken off to Hawaii all the time. And most people actually don't even know that's how I learned to engineer online business, was because of my kids' medical needs at first. And they're totally healed and they're awesome, and praise God for that. But when you have these things that are non-negotiables in your life, believe me, you will build your business and the profit around it. So whatever it is, hopefully your kids are super healthy or whatever that is, you're designing your next generation business for, over 50 or whatever this is for you, as long as you see it, this time off, this way of engineering your business as a non-negotiable. It's not flexible. We can't hopefully take this time off. As long as you see this as a non-negotiable, your time off and the offers you need to sell and when you need to sell them, I promise you'll nail it. It's when we give ourselves space to question whether or not we can do it that we fail. If you in your mind know that the process of engineering your offers around your profit and your life are a non-negotiable, I promise you, you will nail it. But like I said, the first time I did it, I really didn't even nail it. I got like 3 weeks off a year, and then the next year we got more and more and more. So it has taken me a long time to do this practice for now over a decade to get more and more time off each year. Each time you do this, you're gonna get better at it. But this process is the number one way I own multiple companies and now have complete lifestyle and location and travel freedom with my family. And I want you to have that same thing. Even if you have a brick and mortar, there's nothing more powerful than being able to just jump on a plane because you want to. Or because something cool is happening that you want to attend or you want to support a friend. It's an amazing thing, and this is how you do it. Okay, so to recap, in this episode, we talked about how to plan your entire online business calendar for profit and purpose. Whatever that profit and purpose is for you, awesome. I have given you a tool that you can download. Again, you can text the word guide to the number 805-254-0880, and you can download my, I think it's like 30 pages, ultimate guide. It breaks down every single online business offer, from courses to MRRs, even to podcasting as a business model, to masterminds and retreats and hybrid program design, to licensing and certification programs. And I'm going to break down for you the type of model, and I'm going to tell you exactly how that model will affect your life. Make sure you grab that, or you can very simply just go to sweetlifeco.com, click on the podcast. This is episode number 267, and there will be a link for you to download and grab that guide. And the show notes are in here as well, so that you can revisit what we talked about on today's show. All right, I hope you found that super helpful. I promise you, if you follow these order of operations and these steps, then you will, in fact, no longer have a pie in the sky. I hope my business is designed for lifestyle freedom, hope and a dream. Instead, it is a strategy, and it is a proven strategy that you can bank on, and I can't wait to hear how it goes. If we're not connected yet, please follow me on LinkedIn and over on Instagram so that I can hear about how you are doing in your process of designing your life for high profit, deep impact lifestyle freedom. Thanks so much for listening to the show, and I will talk to you guys next week.